it doesn't really matter if what I'm doing with the videos is right or wrong. It just matters that I'm showing up right now. Um, it's been very difficult to think of different things to talk about. It's crazy because I have a ton of ideas throughout all like the misaligned and disorganized list stuff that I always talk about. But yeah, I mean, I'm constantly stressed about all of that, and I go through this like wave, multiple waves every day of I'm gonna do that in a little while, after I eat, after I go for a walk, after I read this, after I watch this. And I pretty much just never end up getting there. Either end up getting in a cycle of thinking like, I'm tired, in the morning I can do it, but then in the morning I give a ton of attention to the cats and do their litter and feed them and play with them, brush them, eat my food, take a shower, go for a walk, and like by the time that's already gone, by the time all that has already happened, it's like late in the day. The amount of times that I've looked at the stove, my clock, and it says 11 or 1 or 12 or 3 or whatever, because every day feels the same. And that can be good and bad. It can be good because if I'm doing things that I should be doing, exercising, reading, posting, practicing with things, and there's progress with it. And I feel like at this point, I'm like very past the point of progress with what I'm doing here. I have a few different like tactics that I want to try with this for myself as a project, since I like having a lot of different projects to work on, or a new project. Not a ton of projects, but one after another is what I should say. I walked backwards, forward, on my heels and on my toes in that rotation for an hour straight, so that was cool. Gonna be swimming once I can be submerged again from the surgery stuff. I'll be lifting once I feel like my basics of my forearms and calves and core feel okay, because I don't want injuries again. I feel like I'm like unintentionally mumbling or almost humming as I'm talking because of like how I'm laying down right now. I gotta get back to doing this in the car, maybe on the walk. I feel like the car makes more sense for me. Yeah, I'm still showing up to all this. It's just there's no obvious progress to outside people, but for me, with the things I struggle with, I'm making progress every day, medically, emotionally, mentally, physically, like great. Over time, I'm doing great. I really only have like things going on with my mom and sister and her dog and the cats and stuff on my mind. So it's difficult to have like separate flow for this. And I already know what I need to be doing. I need to be having the day before and be the day that I think of the following day's idea. So I don't end up doing what I'm doing right now, which is like rambling on about what I'm not doing, what I'm trying to do, having a difficult time. I have an interview tomorrow, and I'm gonna get this one. We'll see what happens after that, but I have a feeling it's gonna go really well, but who knows what it means, because I felt like almost all of them have gone really well. We have so many different ideas for this stuff, like many different ideas, topics, ranges. I just write it down to get it out of my brain, because then I'm not ruminating, but then like I never get back to what I've written down, never getting back to the good ideas that I've had, which is why I don't really be caught up to my stuff, so that when I think of a good idea, I can just implement it that day or the next day at most, aside from if it's like an appointment or whatever where I have to wait a certain amount of days. Otherwise, if it's personal stuff, I can do it immediately. Yeah, like very much considering a small piece of land. I was walking around today, just in the beginning of the day, like going outside and stretching and just like absorbing the sunlight into my face and hands and body and stuff, and pretending like I have photosynthesis, practicing it, because maybe one day I will, who knows. Kind of like flying around, that'd be cool to be able to do too. I don't think that anybody's gonna end up seeing this probably, but if you do, if you had to get rid of 3 out of 5 senses to have the ability to fly, and it's about just as tiring as it is walking, what senses would you give up forever for flying, or would you not do it? I'm sure I'll ask this again in the future, so I'll say my answer at a later time. But yeah, I was walking around and I went by this pond and a couple fallen trees and like mossy, grassy area. Saw a couple frogs. There was 2 geese. I could have sworn I saw a turtle, but it might have just been a stick, because I didn't try to, go after it. I was just walking around, just kind of like absorbing the nature, but it's like a very, very, very small area, and I'm like, I could like build a tiny home on this for sure. And I'm like thinking maybe that's the way to go for me, is like just do what I do my ideas, like how my vehicle's like a camper now, it feels like, and like that's probably my thing. I feel like finding a small amount of land anywhere would be really cool. Be by a little bit of water, have like a fireplace, have a little tiny house, have a little driveway and a spot to park underneath or whatever. That could be kind of cool. But I'm rambling on. I know that I know what to do with this. I'm just very extremely overwhelmed. But I'll get there.